To celebrate 808,000 subscribers, here are 8 levels of 808s. Level 1, the Untuned 808. So this is probably where we all start out. So picture this, you find yourself a cool little melody, you get a nice little bounce going, you find the meanest 808. This is gonna go perfect. You drag it into your sampler and then... Oh, sir. No, because the notes aren't... Okay. Because the piano roll, you got... Okay. Oh, you're done. Level 2, the root note 808. At this point, you realize the 808 isn't a drum, but it's more like a bass. And just like any other bass, it needs to be tuned to the key of your song. So now it's time to go into the piano roll and put the 808s on the root note. If you don't know what a root note is, it's basically the main note in a chord. C minor is C, G major is G, etc, etc. If you don't know how to find the note, take a look at the MIDI and see the chords they're playing. And if you don't have that available, then some ear training will go a long way. This is something you're going to be doing in the majority of your beats, and you can never go wrong. Level 3, the Rhythmic 808. Now the safest place to put the 808 is the kick, but eventually that's gonna get boring. And then you're gonna realize the 808 is a strong independent woman that doesn't need to follow the kick around. So now it's time to give our 808 a bit more rhythm. You can hit the off beats, you can follow other drums, you can even do some rolls. Also play with the velocities to make them even more subtle. Level 4, the sliding 808. Let's get into the fun stuff. Now for a sliding 808, the first thing we need is a long 808. So short 808s like this won't work, but a long 808 like this will. If you don't know how to do this, there is a tiny little triangle up here, and if you toggle it and make a note, it creates a slide note. And all this means is that a regular note will slide to this pitch. And the length of this slide note determines how quickly it will slide into the note. So if it's here, it'll slide really quickly, and this would take a lot longer. So just think of it as it'll reach this pitch once it gets to that little triangle. You can do multiple slides at once. You can also slide from top to bottom. So I'll make a quick little pattern here, and then we're good. Now, if you don't like that weep whooping sound, then let me introduce you to subtle slides. Now, if you didn't know, your slide notes, just like regular notes, have velocity control, which means it'll copy the pitch and also the volume of the notes, which means if I bring this down, then the 808 will slowly pitch down and also fade down. And if we have an 808 note that has no velocity and we slide it into a note that does have velocity, then it will fade in. So now we have a slide pattern that's really interesting, but also really subtle. Level 5, the melodic 808. This is for the basses that don't want to be tied down anymore. They want to see what it's like up here. So I'm going to be doing all the techniques I talked about before, like slides and rhythms, but this time I'm going to do them a couple octaves higher so that they really stand out in the beat. Now, since the 808 is taking over our melody, we have to make sure that our real melody isn't clashing with it as well. This can mean removing your melody at times to let the 808 shine, or just creating a composition that really revolves around your 808. Level 6, the clipping 808. At this point, our 808 is sounding really good, but now we want it to bust out the speakers. Now, there's many ways to do this, but this is my personal method. So the first thing we need to do is pick an 808. So this is the one I picked. It's really subby, there's not too much distortion, but it's still really punchy. Now, the next thing we need to do is layer. So this is gonna give the 808 some high end, and that's gonna really help it punch to the speakers. So layered on top of my 808, I have this open hat, I have a snare, I have a stomp, and I have this percussion thing. And when you play it all together, it sounds like one big thing. The next thing we have to adjust is our mastering chain, and that's what's gonna give us that clipping sound. So on my master chain, I like to have 2 instances of Fruity Soft Clipper. In the first one, I'm gonna be just boosting the signal, and then the other one, I'm gonna just be squishing it down like that. And this is what helps me get that punchy clipping sound. And the last thing we have to do is some leveling. We need the 808 at a level so that it slightly distorts all the other instruments. It should be loud enough so you get that clipping sound, but not too loud that it swallows the entire beat. So I'll start with it down here, and then I'm gonna bring it up so you can hear what it does to the other instruments. You can hear it kind of squishes the other sounds in a really nice way. Level 7, the experimental 808. These are for the producers that are tired of the zays and the spins and they want to get more into their creative bag. For this one, there's really only one rule. If it sounds good, then go for it. Now, if I was going to approach this, I would start off with, you know, a nice clean 808, just like before, something like this. I would put it into my mixer channel, I would route it into another one, and then on this other one, I would remove the low end. So now I can play with all of this top end from this 808 while still keeping that beefiness from the other one. And then from there, I would just straight up run the weirdest plugins I have on my computer. This is a really cool sound. I can just turn it down a bit. That's really interesting. This one is really cool too, but since it gets a little crazy, I'm gonna just kind of automate that so it just comes in at the end. I found this really weird preset in Shaper Box. I like when it does this crackly thing right there. So we can automate that as well, actually. And it's really important to note that the more we do here, the less space we have to do other stuff. So in this instance, I'm not even gonna do a melody. I'm just gonna put in this vocal thing and then that's it. And level 8, no 808. If 808 start to get boring, the most interesting thing you can do is to just straight up use something else. Does that mean we abandon the 808 completely? No, but once in a while we can switch it up to give our bass more color. And this can range from literally anything. We can do a synth bass. We can do a live bass. We can do a growly bass. We can even do a log drum. Allow the 808s and the other basses to kind of dance back and forth between each other. And a really important rule is that you turn on cut itself so that they don't overlap with each other. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Guys, once again, thank you for 808,000 subscribers. I really appreciate you supporting me all this time. Coincidence, but I actually started 8 years ago. And as a little thank you, I'm going to give you guys 8 of my favorite 808s, and that's going to be free in the description below. Road to 1 million starts now. Make sure you guys subscribe. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon.
If you have any suggestions, leave a comment. If you like this video, leave a like. If you really like this video, subscribe. If you didn't like this video, leave. Just leave. Get out of here.